What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, August 20th. So, if you've been following the news the past 24 hours, you may have heard Trump make some proposals about a tax cut. Now, yesterday I was very excited because he was talking about a payroll tax cut. And a payroll tax cut is something the MMT community has been supporting for a very long time. Now, payroll taxes are the money that comes out from people's paychecks every week or every month when they get paid. That's FICA, Social Security, and that would be a really great boost to the economy. It would leave workers with larger paychecks that they could go around immediately and spend that money back into the economy on food, on rent, on education, on healthcare, on whatever it is they spend on. That was a great idea. A great idea. And then now today they kind of backed away from that, and now we don't hear any more talk about a payroll tax cut. No, we're not doing a payroll tax cut anymore. That's sort of the news that I'm seeing today. Now, let's talk a little bit about a tax cut. A tax cut fiscally is the same thing as a spending increase, and a spending cut is the same thing fiscally as a tax increase, right? One puts money in your pocket, the other one takes money out of your pocket. Now, what Trump is proposing at this moment, at least from what I read, is a capital gains tax cut. At least that's what he's talking about. This is pure Larry Kudlow, Art Laffer, supply side BS. All right, this is your trickle down, your standard trickle down. A capital gains tax cut. I mean, it's great for people who have capital gains, and especially people who have very large capital gains. And who is that? You're talking about the rich, the wealthy people. So, when you say tax cut, that's fiscally the same thing as a spending increase, puts money in your pocket. So basically, a capital gains tax cut is a spending increase on very, very rich people. All right, here we go again. I love it when people talk about socialism and denigrate socialism and say, hey, it's all this giveaway to people. Well, guess what? We have had 40 years of massive giveaway to very, very wealthy people. And a capital gains tax cut, I'll tell you two things right now. Number one, it will not help the economy. Nowhere near what a payroll tax cut would have done. And number two, it is basically a spending increase on very rich people. So really disappointed to see, and by the way, number one, I'm disappointed. Number two, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Because everything along those lines, from a fiscal point of view, it's either more military or more spending on the rich. And a capital gains tax cut, if that's what his advisors are leading him towards, and that's what it looks like right now. I mean, they said a payroll tax cut, which I was really, really excited about. That would have been fantastic for the economy. We could have seen the economy maybe rise up around 4% GDP, maybe close to 5% GDP with a payroll tax cut. No, now that's taken off the table. And let me explain something too. There's this belief that, oh, we can't cut payroll taxes because that's what funds Social Security, and that is a total myth. All the money taken in from FICA, Social Security, those so-called payroll taxes go into the Treasury's general account, the general spending account of the Treasury. It doesn't go into some, remember, some special account, some lockbox. No, it goes into the general account of the Treasury, and it's spent, that money is spent for all expenditures of the federal government. It is used for all expenditures of the federal government. It isn't set aside or put in some special account for Social Security. It goes into the Treasury's general account. What Social Security gets is an IOU from the government. So the government telling another part of the government, we owe you this money. And when the checks come due for Social Security, what happens? They just make the payments. Because all payments by the government are simply keystrokes on a keyboard. That's it. The same way everything else is paid for. The same way we pay for trillion-dollar wars and all this defense spending, Social Security is paid the exact same way. So when they say, hey, we can't cut the payroll tax because it won't be, we'll lose the funding for Social Security, that is just wrong. All the funds collected from the payroll taxes go into the Treasury general account, and that is used for general spending on everything the government spends on. Social Security account gets an IOU, and that's it. And when they got to make a payment for Social Security, they just make the payment. There's no shortfall. All right? But this will be used politically as an argument as to why, oh, we can't cut the payroll tax. But it is bogus. It is ridiculous. And unfortunately, it's one of the big things holding the economy back. I mean, people are taxed on this additional tax on their income. This payroll tax is a major drag. And if we had a tax cut like that, that would go immediately back into the economy. And I'm telling you right now, a capital gains tax cut is a spending increase on very rich people. This is your classic trickle-down BS economic garbage that is not going to do anything meaningful for the economy. I'm not even sure if it's going to really juice up the stock market that much. But it'll give rich people a big break on their taxes. All right? So there you have it. Anyway, it was a kind of a disappointing day. Acceleration down into the close in the stock market. The only thing, and I was expecting a good day today. We had a bunch of settlements from debt auctions from last week. And I was expecting to see a good reserve draw, which would have been bullish for the markets. But what I did see was the Fed did a $16 billion one-day repo, system repo. So pumping in money at a time when we were supposed to get a nice $25 billion draw in reserves. They pumped in $16 billion, so they basically offset most of that draw. Unfortunate. I'm hoping by tomorrow we see a better day. It was a one-day system repo, so you can't do the pumping. You can't do the pumping. You're loading up the banks with the reserves. Remember, it causes them to adjust their assets. Reserves are tier 1 assets. They get loaded up with that stuff. It affects leverage ratios. That means there's fewer other assets they can either buy or create, as in the case of loans when they create loans. So, bad move. I don't know why they did it. Bad move. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.